morning everyone. My name is Emil. I am the developer behind Synaptic4U, and I would just like to share a little bit with you about what I do. And I'm a software developer. I focus on information systems. Okay. My heart and goal behind what I do isn't just to make a living for myself. Okay. I have a very strong social economic responsibility. My dream and my heart is to develop others by assisting with bursaries, life coaching and therapy. Many people do not get a good foundation to start life with, and my life's motto is I would like to leave the world better off than when I found it, and that is a sole purpose behind this startup. I don't need a Porsche or a Mercedes. I'm comfortable with a little Volkswagen and a flat or a small house. My passions are mountain biking and cooking. I really love food, and I love being in the mountains. So that's a little bit about me, and I would like to share with you my system. This system is not live yet. It is under development. What I will be doing in the future is once this whole system has passed all of my tests for it and it's finished and I've worked out the current kinks in the system, then I will be rolling it out to the public. And there are still things, like little things I need to polish, so please bear with me. This whole system is written in PHP, JavaScript, databases MySQL, and of course HTML and CSS, as you can see. The server acts as an API server. It handles requests. My system has two main levels. Core bootstrapping application, okay, that acts a little bit like a framework, handles all of my encryption, my requests, so my controller and method calls. The architecture, the design pattern that I've chiefly used is let's just take that away. Is an MVC model. Okay, my controller, model view, my views, my model. So I incorporate MVC all throughout. Okay, I try to practice solid as much as possible, where it makes sense to do so. I do follow some other design patterns in my system. So the purpose of this system is to be a platform for management information systems. Okay. You have your user. You can register as a user, and then from there, depending upon your needs, you can subscribe to individual applications, personal applications, okay, or from an organizational view, you can subscribe to organization applications. Okay. If you are part of an organization and you are a subscriber to the system, your personal applications will not be accessible by your organization, and the organization applications will not be accessible from your personal profile. And that is why this happens. Okay, so I've got my journal application, but I'd like to show you my organizational. Okay, this is still under development. Like I said previously, this is a static organogram of your organization hierarchy, and this is a hierarchy, okay, that I've developed. I have a button for parent hierarchical structures. So Synaptic4U would be a parent hierarchical structure, okay, and then you can have substructures. This would create I lost the word there. It would create sub level to my parent organization, okay. You can choose your organization types. So if you have a company, you have multiple branches, and each branch you have a department, and then you have a group, you have a holding company as a parent, top level parent organization. You can have child organizations and the company, and really I've given the user a fine-grained control in how they would like to create their whole organization. So you have the usual organization details. Okay, this will normally give you the parent organization. Because Synaptic4U is a parent organization, it doesn't have a parent organization. You can edit your particulars. I've been working on white labeling the whole system. So the front end, the access point, can be hosted on any website, and it will run through to my API server. Okay. On top of SSL, I do use in the application itself public key encryption. So all traffic is sent between the application is encrypted using an encryption standard that uses secure prime numbers. Okay, so it's secure. With the rise of quantum computers, I will later go to lattice-based encryption, which is quantum secure. In other words, a quantum computer cannot brute force lattice-based encryption, and possibly I'll look into rubber hose encryption. There is something I would like to mention is that, say for example, in the application I do use private key encryption. As you'll see now, all of my application parameters are encrypted. Okay, so if a user wants to change something or fiddle with something that is not in their role and they do not have the permissions to do so, they would have to try and decrypt this to find out exactly what's going on. And if they fail with that, the application will kick them out. And any attempts made upon the server will ban the IP address. So I've taken security very seriously. I do have an optional live data encryption where I encrypt all of your data in the application layer before it goes to the MySQL database. There's some reasons for that, and in another video I will probably explain the reasons for that. Okay, so I've taken security very seriously. You cannot elevate user permissions in this application. The only way someone could fiddle is if they have previously hacked your computer and they can gain control only over the information that you can see. So if they've hacked your personal computer and they can gain access to the browser, everything you can do, they would be able to do. Okay. As a developer, I cannot secure your personal computer. The server is secure, the application is secure, and personal security is something your IT administrator will have to handle. Back to the organization, for each organization you can create your custom type. As you saw when we were looking at creating an organization over here, there's that little drop down. This is where that drop down comes from, so you can build your own organization types. Okay, there's some standard system types to start you off with. You can enable them, disable them, and so forth. Next thing is user roles. For each role there's a permission structure. So for all application modules that require create permissions, you can allow it to view, to edit, to delete. Okay, and you can see a list of all the roles you've created. There is a default system role that you have no control over. Okay, and that is a person who will be administrating your whole system for your organization and so forth. That's something you can never disable or edit, but the rest of it is pretty flexible. You can disable a staff role, and then every user who has been assigned to that role will be restricted in what they can do. As soon as that role is disabled, each application module checks to see who you are and what you can do, to see exactly what permissions you have, and it will limit your access. Okay, so that's a little bit about roles. Users. Okay, users fall under two categories: users and personnel. A user will be able to have access to the system. Okay, and depending on the role that you assign to them, they will only have access to the applications you've assigned to the role. Okay, personnel are people on the system but do not have access to the system, and there's two ways that this works. Is that once you fill this out, for a user it will send an invite link asking them to accept the invitation. Okay, and this is more or less what an invite link will look like. They can refuse it. The link expires within 24 hours, and they can also stop you from inviting them again if they wish to do so. Okay, for each user you can assign an organization role. Okay, and here's my two users. I'm expecting your organization to have a number of users, so I've created pagination. Then, but not least, in your organization for each application, it will give you a list. The hierarchy organization application is default, it's part of the system. The journal is not, it is a subscribed application. Okay, but for all of these you can edit who has access to what. Okay, as you will see here. Okay, for my journal application, these are, like, say for example, the required permissions. So this is a brief explanation. For each application module, some of them will have a parent module, as you can see here by dashboard, and you can assign a role to each module if you want. This is something I'm still working out. I'm just getting a feel for how much control, granular control, I should give. So for everything that is a top level item, I'm going to work that if there are sub menu items to that and sub module items, then the permissions will filter down, so that you don't have to assign specific things. Okay. So say for example my dashboard. Okay, I can assign different organization roles to the module. Then as required, you can include or exclude. So if you have a user that you want to access certain parts of the application, you can allow it. Or if a user is currently assigned to a role that has access to the application, you can exclude them. Okay, and it will work like that for every application on the system. I am looking for sponsorship. Okay, yeah, I am definitely open to investors. Okay, thank you for watching the video. And let me just switch this off now.